Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Oscar's Cozy Corner. Wow. What a showcase. What a reveal. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling absolutely overwhelmed with everything that we got from this year's Disney Dreamlight Valley showcase. There was so much content, so much to go through, and I thought I really need to do some sort of breakdown of all of this. The biggest news is, of course, the brand new expansion coming on November 19th, just a couple of weeks away, called Wishblossom Ranch. This is bringing us an entirely new world with rideable horses, new biomes, new characters, and so much more. Because there is so much to cover, I thought I would do a comprehensive breakdown of everything we know so far about this expansion and what we can expect. So sit back, relax, and let me take you through everything. So let's start with the biomes and the map, because this is where the art direction really does shine. Of course, the new expansion is called Wishblossom Ranch, and we're getting 3 unique biomes to explore here: Wishing Alps, Glamour Gulch, and Pixie Acres. The team has really leaned into scale, verticality, and visual variety this time around, and you can tell that they definitely spent a lot of time on the environmental storytelling. Wishing Alps is the main area here where we see Wishblossom Ranch itself located. This biome is inspired by the Alpine Mountains as they transition from winter into spring, so you get this really beautiful mix of snow-covered peaks with meadows starting to bloom. We're also seeing rustic, cozy farmland with rustic stables, all nestled along those alpine peaks and meadows. This is the heart of the expansion and where we'll probably be spending most of our time, very similar to the Bind in Storybook Vale. The color palette itself is warm, it's inviting, lots of greens, some lingering whites from the snow, pastels from all of the different flowers, and those natural earth tones of the farm buildings, and the attention to detail here is really just incredible. If you look closely, you might even spot a train-themed Goofy stall lurking in the background of this teaser trailer, very similar to the train we seem to arrive on when we first come to Wishblossom Ranch, and both Scrooge's and Remy's buildings have been redesigned with Wishblossom Ranch theming. The whole area just feels like a peaceful retreat, which definitely makes sense given what Wishblossom Ranch was supposed to be before Cruella got her hands on it, but more on that in just a second. Glamour Gulch is quite the opposite vibe, and I will be absolutely honest with you, I need a minute with the name. Glamour Gorge was right there. Gulch, not quite sitting right with me, but this is a fashionable yet sinister estate that is all about Cruella's aesthetic. It was mentioned that the art team really captured her love for couture by weaving it into every design element, and we're talking dramatic architectural choices, lots of Victorian influences, which I absolutely love, and then a really moody color palette with deep reds, some purples and jewel tones, and you'll also notice some creepy mannequins lurking through the area. For some reason, they just always seem to be in the background. But the environmental furniture here is also all about high fashion. Think huge scissors, pin cushions, and couture-inspired trees. There's also a mountainous mine section, which is very reminiscent of the Seven Dwarfs aesthetic to me, which is a fun connection given that Snow White is part of this expansion. It's beautiful in a very different way from the Wishing Alps, and the contrast between this fashionable yet eerie estate and the cozy ranch really emphasizes that Cruella has taken over and corrupted what was once a peaceful place. And then finally, we have Pixie Acres, which is wonderfully whimsical. This is where things get genuinely magical. The team wanted players to feel as though they've literally shrunk in size as they walk through this overgrown pixie village. You're navigating through oversized flora and fauna, massive flowers, these giant butterflies with slow moving wings, and lots of other natural elements that make you feel tiny. It seems as though there are dandelion seeds falling like snow throughout the biome, which I think ties into an interesting theme, things that you make wishes upon. There's also a gigantic cake in the background with a cherry on top, which leads to this idea of whimsical wish-making moments. That cherry is the one that I think we spotted in the trailer, which ended up being a little bit of a red herring, and people thinking, including myself, that we were getting a candy biome. But everything in this space really creates this immersive, magical garden aesthetic, kind of similar to what we saw with the Alice in Wonderland update, but it definitely has a lot of personality. There are a lot of over-the-top decorative elements, but I do think this is intentional and has been brought to the biome by one very particular villager's excited and chaotic energy, who we will talk about in just a second. But one really cool element that runs across all three biomes is something called the Wishblossom Heart at the center of the mountains. Now, at the heart of this lies the Crystal Caverns, which is a series of caves that twist through the mountains filled with secrets and the key to restoring the wish magic that powers Wishblossom Ranch. The Crystal Caverns themselves serve as a hub connected by a series of puzzles and challenges, probably similar to the trials we saw in previous expansions. And the heart itself has been drained of its magic and is currently in a state of decay. So we'll need to work through those challenges to restore the balance. This is where the Disney horses come into play and their special horse abilities. We'll need Maximus's jumping, Khan's door kicking, and Pegasus's gliding to help navigate through those caverns and solve the puzzles blocking our way. But more on the horses in just a second. And finally, another thing spreading across all the biomes is something called dead wish blossoms. These are manifestations of that decay that's threatening Wishblossom Ranch. Similar to night thorns or splinters of fate from previous areas, we'll be cleaning those up as we go. Clearing those dead wish blossoms ties into the overall goal of restoring balance to the ranch and fighting back against corruption spreading through the mountains. Moving on to characters, we are getting 4 new villagers with this expansion, all available to unlock from day 1, and the character roster that they chose this time is 1 interesting, 2 thoughtful, and 3 what a mixture. Snow White and Tinkerbell were revealed early on with this expansion announcement a couple of weeks ago, which did lead to weeks of community speculation about who the other 2 characters would be. When you have 2 characters locked in, you do start wondering what the theme is. Are we getting more classic Disney characters? Are we getting a specific franchise? The speculation was wild. But Snow White herself is the centerpiece character for this expansion. She's been caring for the ranch during the forgetting and needs our help to get things up and running again. She is described as a great friend for the player, kind and caring, though she'll definitely face some challenges from a certain villain. And of course, having the original Disney princess join the game is a big deal. She is iconic, and honestly, I am a little surprised it took her this long to get into the valley, but I'm happy that she's finally coming. Tinkerbell from Peter Pan also plays a key role in the main story. She's been keeping the last of the giant wish blossoms alive with her pixie dust, essentially acting as a guardian of this dying magic. But thanks to our Dreamlight magic, we will be able to understand her in a way that nobody else can, which is a really cool detail that ties her story to our player character specifically, and also gives Gameloft a way to say, doesn't matter, Dreamlight magic makes everything happen. Eventually, she will join us in the valley as a villager, and I'm excited to see how her mischievous personality plays out, given that she tries to kill Wendy at any given opportunity. Now, the villain reveal is where things got really interesting. Before the showcase, the community was throwing out all sorts of guesses for who the antagonist would be: King Candy from Wreck-It Ralph, Hans from Frozen, or even the evil queen from Snow White's own story. But only a small handful of people predicted Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. On reflection, I do actually think it's a really fun choice, given that Cruella is all about dogs and fashion, not horses, which does make her seem like an unlikely fit for a ranch expansion, but I feel like that's exactly why it works so well. Having a fashion-obsessed villain who is completely out of place trying to run the ranch is perfect for comedic and dramatic tension. She took control during the forgetting and basically ran the whole place into the ground, which is why everything is falling apart when we arrive. And Gameloft do like to lean into a little bit of humor in their dialogue specifically, so I do expect that to be some sort of theme through her storyline. And they did say that the team is clearly having fun with her big personality, and we'll have to figure out how to deal with her and restore the ranch. Bringing more villains into Dreamlight Valley is always on players' wish lists, and I really do think that Cruella is a fantastic and much needed addition to that roster. Tigger from Winnie the Pooh was also a bit of a surprise element. From early on, when people saw the first expansion teasers, we did spot the honeypot in the footage, which led many people to believe and speculate that we would be getting a Pooh character. There was also the option that this was just a point of interest, like the Mad Hatter Falls in Teapot Falls, but most people assumed that it would be Pooh Bear himself, given his massive popularity. However, Tigger was such a fun curveball. He is the first Winnie the Pooh villager to come to the game, and he's gone missing somewhere deep in the Wishblossom Mountains. His buoyant, enthusiastic personality is going to bring a lot of infectious energy to the valley. ADHD girlies, I feel represented. I do suspect Pooh will come down the line as a free update eventually, considering he is such a monstrously huge character in terms of popularity. But for now, Tigger, we're good. You can come on into the valley. Here's something really important though. Unlike previous expansions that were split into multiple parts or acts, Wishblossom Ranch brings the full main story from day one. As you progress through the story, you'll have the opportunity to unlock all 4 villagers with their friendship quests and their rewards available to you. Similarly, you'll be able to unlock the 3 special Disney horses as you advance through the narrative, and this means no waiting around for story content to drip feed over months. The adventure is all there from launch. To give you a sense of what we're dealing with story-wise, Wishblossom Ranch was once the coziest relaxation destination in the valley, with its beautiful alpine vibes and rustic stables, but during the forgetting, Cruella took control of the place and completely mismanaged it. After we get a voucher for a free vacation there, we arrive only to discover that the ranch is falling apart, and the real mystery deepens when something disturbs the giant Wishblossom flower at the center of the mountain. Wish magic has run amok, causing all sorts of problems. As is usually the case, our job is to uncover the true cause of the wish magic catastrophe, stop the decay, and get the ranch up and running again. Find the missing horses and figure out what's really going on at the heart of this mountain. Now, the star of this expansion, one for my horse girlies, is ridable horses. This is a completely new feature to Disney Dreamlight Valley, and it's going to change how we navigate and interact with the world. First, we have customizable base horses. Players can befriend horses and fully customize them with different coats, mane colors, saddles, reins, blankets, back accessories. You can save multiple preset horses, so you can have a variety of different styles to choose from, which is a really nice touch. When riding any horse, you do have 3 speeds. You have walking, trotting, and galloping. And at full gallop, you can also jump over obstacles like fences. And I do expect us to be seeing some sort of obstacle course, maybe a kit in the premium shop or something along those lines. Definitely not out of the realm of possibility. But beyond just getting around faster than on foot, horses can also help with valley tasks. So once you bond with them, they can water your crops just by running over them. They can mine gems, they'll dig holes, which is a nice 3x3 grid of dig holes, fantastic. And they will also clear those dead wish blossoms that we mentioned earlier, alongside Splinters of Fate, Inkies, and Nightthorns back in the base valley. We also have 3 special Disney horses coming to Wishblossom Ranch, so that will be Maximus from Tangled, who we knew all about in advance, Khan from Mulan, and Pegasus from Hercules. Each of these horses have a unique ability inspired by their character and adventures, so Maximus will be able to long jump to leap across large gaps, Khan can kick down wooden doors or steel doors, and Pegasus can glide, allowing you to ride wind tunnels around Wishblossom Ranch. The wind tunnels is very interesting to me. We didn't get shown that in any way, so I'm curious if that is some sort of fast travel, and maybe Pegasus will hover or fly a little bit higher than we see in that gameplay trailer. Those special abilities are unlocked by bonding with each horse, similar to leveling friendships with villagers, and you'll be bonding with them by feeding, brushing, riding, and petting them. Fully fleshed out sort of characters and companions. They're almost a mixture between villagers and critters. On a personal note, I do think that the horse implementation looks really, really strong, and I truly cannot wait to get my hands on this DLC. But alongside horses, we're getting 3 new animal companion types that fit perfectly with each biome's aesthetic. We have geese wandering around the Wishing Alps with that farmyard style. They're a nice touch that really reinforces that ranch atmosphere. Skunks are appearing in Glamour Gulch, and they're also a nice touch because they're based on the skunk from Bambi with the art style, and they match Cruella's monochrome aesthetic perfectly. And finally, bees are flying around Pixie Acres, tending to the flowers, adding to that whimsical, magical garden vibe. And I just want to give a highlight and a shout out to everybody that said they would give their life for this bee, because Me too. All of the animals look genuinely adorable and they'll have new poses available too. I feel like the design team have really stepped up with these critters. They're very cute without being saccharine and they fit naturally into their respective biomes rather than feeling like they've just been dropped in. Each animal also seems to have personality, especially those geese, which I think is very important when you're going to be spending time with them as companions. Something really exciting for the decorators out there, the expansion introduces modular building kits, and I feel like this is a real game changer for creative players. Each biome will have its own themed set of kit pieces that fit together seamlessly, giving players tons of creative freedom. The idea is that you can mix and match pieces from each biome's kit to create cohesive structures and villages without having to hunt for random individual items or craft smaller individual pieces to put together. Now you'll find pieces scattered throughout each biome as you explore and then unlock the ability to purchase more from Scrooge's store. Some pieces require finding blueprints hidden around the world, which does add to the exploration element and gives you a reason to really dig into every corner of the new areas. The team said that these building kits are designed to be really modular and flexible, and they mentioned that they mix and match easily within each biome. So whether you're building something grand or something cozy, you should have all the pieces that you need. And this brings us to a new crafting system called Blueprint Repair. So instead of needing to trek to a crafting table every time you want to build something, you should be able to repair deconstructed blueprints right where you stand with a few resources and a little bit of pixie dust. It seems like a really streamlined way to get items built without the usual hassle of crafting them. And to me, I feel like this was probably inspired from the castle walls in the Storybook Vale expansion. We obviously got the Ever After castle kit in the premium shop, but this time it seems as though they are giving them to us for free. So I do feel like the team has clearly listened to feedback about making the building process less tedious, and this definitely feels like a natural evolution of that idea. For purchasing, there are a few options. The standard Wishblossom Ranch expansion comes with 5,000 moonstones, whereas the Deluxe edition will come with 10,000 moonstones, a unique house skin, 2 equestrian outfits, and Sven from Frozen as a rideable mount with his own themed items. Sven looks incredible. I think he looks fantastic. I know that some people thought that we might not see him because he is technically a reindeer, but they've said that the focus is on mounts, not necessarily horses, so we could see additional mounts that are not horses in the future. There's also a Wishblossom Ranch edition for new players that includes the base game, the expansion and moonstones, and the ultimate edition that includes the base game, the Storybook Vale expansion pass, and all of the deluxe edition content. If you purchase any edition containing the expansion between November 19th and December 3rd, you'll also get an exclusive outfit for your avatar and matching tack for your horse. The expansion itself releases November 19th, but there's more coming soon. On December 10th, there's a free update called the Winter Ball that will bring Cinderella to the valley through a special quest involving the fairy godmother. This update also introduces Dream Teams, a new feature that lets players join with up to 7 friends to form their own Disney Dreamlight Valley community. This is a functionality update that allows us to share resources in order to work together on quests and crafting tasks, a much needed addition and one that I am very excited for. Looking further ahead, the 2026 roadmap has also revealed the first 3 free updates coming next year. We are getting Lady and the Tramp, a lovable canine couple with a craving for spaghetti and meatballs, which will likely be a Valentine's themed update. We'll also be meeting Pocahontas, a wise and free-spirited adventurer who will help us learn about cherishing nature, and we're stepping into the world of myths with what appears to be Hercules content, likely bringing Phil along for the adventure. So these 2026 updates are going to give us plenty to look forward to. So there you have it, everything we know about Wishblossom Ranch coming November 19th. This expansion is bringing so much to the table, a brand new world, rideable horses, new characters, new biomes, and so much more creative freedom for decorating. But I would love to hear what you think. What are you most excited about? Is it the horses, the new characters, the building kits? Whatever it is, let me know down in the comments. If you did enjoy this breakdown, please feel free to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and join our cozy corner of the internet. I'm gonna leave it there for today. That was a lot of information to take in. If you've made it this far, congratulations. I love you. But thank you so much for watching. I will catch you in the next one, and I will, of course, see you in the valley.